Yeah, it's all right. I mean, the time's sort of running out, but it's very interesting because maybe I could get some pointers from him or something. And like I should say to that reporter because she would know it. I mean, of course she knows him because she'd done the story on it. So yeah, I know, but she might have been down here. How come she said she did the story on him? She was the one that did the story on him. Maybe he had a few journalists. No, no. Well, that's the reason she said. She said that this could happen to somebody else. That's why she's doing the story. And she said she did cover. She covered. She told me she covered Robert Clements. I said, yeah, I knew that one. I know someone that worked with that guy. But, yeah, well, it is what it is, really. There's people who, but I mean, if you talked that much, you would know a lot of details, but maybe you just didn't take it. I don't know. But look, I don't know enough, and sure, it's on the internet. I can read about it because all it was in the paper and that. Yeah, well, same as me. Well, from what you're telling me, I'm getting closer. I went through that. 1 minute you think you're closer, and then you get shot down. But largely, and see, this is the thing. Should journo lady said, Lotto don't like bad publicity, and the fact that like she really believed me, like like basically they're a big corporation, and if they don't want to pay, they're not going to pay. And she believes that you get given a hard time because she said that's what happened to that guy. So oh well, there is that, but I mean, even if they have, look, my evidence with the credit card was never looked at. Like they could have looked at that and then dismissed it. My two witnesses, that was pretty interesting for the lady that I had the two witnesses and the evidence of that. But he might have had CCTV footage, or maybe he didn't. We don't know that. Yeah, and he might have had tickets with the same numbers dating back. He must have had something to keep him going for that time. Yeah, because you know what, like if I ended up getting this win, someone like him, I'd just go and give him some money because I feel sorry for him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
by the way.
All right.
And he actually, he likes country music.
That's all right.
He likes about this Kiwi. He talked to me a little bit about that. He likes this Kiwi country singer called John Hoare.
Yeah.
That's his real name, John Hoare. John, but it's spelled Hore.
Yeah.
And apparently John Hoare went to US a few times to try and make it in country music there.
Yeah.
And he ended up changing his name when he was to perform in the United States. He changed his name to Brunel. They changed his name to John, so it became John Brunel instead of John Hoare. But when he, only when he had records out in New Zealand, he was still John Hoare. And that's when I was a teenager. You know?
Yeah.
And he hit with this cover of famous country American country singer, what's his name? Give it a minute. At that time, they're gonna put me in the movie. Um, Act Naturally. That one was too, yeah. So John Paul covered Act Naturally. That sort of got him a bit of fame, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you know that Clements guy. I remember seeing him on TV. So I don't know whether because he had a few court cases, whether it was the court cases that he got contacted like me, or whether he tried to get the publicity. I don't know, but he actually was on TV a few times.
Right. I mean, he's sort of a middle-aged guy and he's got black hair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I just remember it was on TV and they showed where he bought the ticket and all this stuff.
Slightly sort of fat, not that fat, but a little bit. He's sort of got slightly googly eyes. Um,
What eyes?
it's very cool that no, they're not that googly, but a little bit. Sort of
Oh,
a slightly puffy face, you know.
yeah.
Poor bastard. Anyway, look, to me, he should have gone into reading The Secret. That's what he needed to do. So then he could have tried to think positive to when he.
Yeah, you never know. He might have done all that too, you know.
Yeah, it's true. But
I mean, that was the era when that came out.
um, yeah, it's not. I just found out about Abraham Hicks. Um, yeah, I didn't find out about them until I got moved up here. So that's after 2008. That's probably
Yeah, I only found out through the spiritual center, I think.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think around about 2011 or 12, I started seeing YouTube with these. I haven't read their books. I only just got their books in the last year. So um, I nearly finished the one I've got now. Um, so I'm on the bit called Segment Intending.
Oh,
As they say, you should try and plan your day out how you want it to go in your mind.
yeah.
Said that most people don't do that, and sometimes they end up, getting things they don't want to have happen to them. I'm not sure if that could have prevented it. It was a bit weird the other night, that Wednesday night, the family in um, open mic night. Because one of the other singers said that he got hassled as well. But I said, no.
Well, it's only because it's a government because the area is a hotspot and it's a government directive, you know. And if they have people inspect it, you
Yeah,
know, they can be in trouble if they don't.
yeah, that's what this woman kept saying. The bloody damage. Well, we can get a $5,000 fine. And I said, well,
Yeah,
okay.
well,
I said, I'm sorry for you. And I said, that's heavy duty, but that's the fucking government. It's not me, you know.
yeah, oh yeah, it's not to take it out on you, but she's just showing this. You know, she's probably had to tell lots of people to do the thing. You know, she probably didn't like what she was doing either.
Maybe she got stressed out after that. I don't know. But
Yeah,
she's fucking stressed.
yeah,
But I felt that that came across as a sort of a personal attack, the way I saw it. And
yeah. Well, she just wants people to comply. I think I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's trying to be slow to comply with that. But the reason that a lot of people up here, I mean, the reason why people are reluctant to get those QR accents. I'm going to have to the council today and see if I can get one. I don't know. I'll try, but I don't know. I don't know how successful I'll be. Um, but people don't want to be tracked. That's the thing, and that's why they're doing that.
Oh yeah, well that actually that's true as well.
That's the real order reason why you don't want it. You know.
I mean, look, I don't mind getting the tracking thing because it just makes it easier to go to different shops and that. You know, if you want to use the shops and the services, it's kind of what you have to do. But if you
Oh yeah.
can't do it, you write down the stuff. You know.
It's look. It's. I mean, I know what the justification for it is. That's all right, but you never had to do that before COVID came along.
Of course not. Of course now, but it's too. They're saying it's in case somebody in the midst of you has contracted it or you have that's their way of letting other people know to get
But
tested.
yeah, that's it's, yeah, that's the justification.
Yeah,
And then apparently is a watertight one or justified. Apparently justified. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
But it's just annoying. That's all. It's still annoying having to do that when every time you go somewhere having to. Um, but you have to. I guess you've got to accept it that you don't like it.
yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to like it. You know. And there were protests in Sydney recently about the mask. That's right. Yeah. The people in Manly Causeway protested. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw some people with protest about them protesting about the mask.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one. Yeah,
I think what one in the one in Bondi Action, and I think in Manly Causeway possibly. So yeah, there you have it. Mm.
yeah. Well, you don't have to wear them outside.
No, no,
You
you
just
don't.
got to
No.
wear them in you know, the shops usually tell you put it on, but as well as that, you've got to sign in.
Yeah, it's supposed to find in some shops. And I don't know if all of them enforce it, but yeah, what they were worried about up at the hotel here, that woman was about me, is that that there was going to be
What?
so what I get there and there'd be sticky tops going in there like plain coat stickers, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody wants to have to pay a big fine. And,
no,
and and have their business shut down because that's what they do. They'd shut the
I
business
know
down.
it's not even morally right as far as I'm concerned. It's just annoying.
Yeah, but see, their argument would be it's a medical thing, so that is
Yeah, but
morally
as
right.
Alan Jones said, they're not doing this for medical reasons. They're doing it for political reasons.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even based on science. And that's what gets me. So it's all based on germ theory. Which is not necessarily correct. Um, so it's only that all those politicians are doing it so that they can appear that they are are doing the right thing or they're doing something about it. They're trying to prevent it. Um, it's only in their mind,
Yeah, I
and
don't
as
know about that, but
and as, and as Alan Jones points out, all those politicians they're not going to get a pay cut. They're not going to lose their job. They're going to be completely bulletproof in all of this. They won't get a pay cut. So their jobs are guaranteed. So they're not going to lose out. But people on the street are going to lose out. Some people are, and some business owners are too. So that's not good.
yeah,
But
the business owners, but I think I mean they've cut the government payments, but they're still giving the bonuses and that to people because I saw that
they
come
can't
up
keep
on my.
doing it for it. They can't keep doing it indefinitely. This is the I mean,
No, I know, but there's still 750 and 250 bonuses coming out, and we're probably going to get them as well.
oh well, I won't say no to that because it's the annoyance that bloody causes,
Yeah,
is it. But yeah, so yeah, there you have it, Kathy. Yeah, this is the situation.
yeah.
It's just cooking else. What's the weather like today now? Is it
Oh,
sort of
it's
like,
just on and off. It's pretty much overcast overall.
is it cold or
Yeah,
is it?
it's cool.
Mm, you have to wear a jumper.
Well, I'm not wearing a jumper, but I've got two dresses on.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not like it's your good average manly summer day.
No.
It's not. And you don't feel like breaking your swimsuit and jumping into the seawater pools and doing
Well,
anyway.
I mean, look, I go, doesn't matter what the weather, but I'm still trying to sort out the room and I'm still, I've got things to do, so it's not like I'll just jump and do that.
Mm.
I might go
Yeah,
for a walk at the end of the day or I might jump in, but, I've been mainly doing walks. Like,
yeah. It's feel good to walk by the sea.
well, yeah, I need to lose weight. That's right. But
Mm.
like in between, I stay here, I stay at dad's, and I'm just caught up really.
Yeah, you got family things going on. Yeah.
But not only that, I mean, yesterday it was like so many hours. It was over an hour phone interview, and then it was an hour the photo thing. So that was a little chunk out of the day.
What's it like being photographed like by
Well,
photo?
because and Julie made me put on another bra and iron the dress, and told me to put mascara on her. I felt like I wasn't even me. So
She's trying to groom you there.
but it was good because like I had a plain, it was a green dress,
Yeah.
and like when he's telling me like the sun, and I said, oh, something, he said, oh it's not uh, whatever I was saying, it's more that he didn't like the light to play on the photo, like he just wanted a straightforward photo without the sun coming through it.
Oh, okay. Right.
Like he just wanted it, it was a portrait, so it has to be a simple thing.
Right. Did he use his own lighting? Did he use like
Yeah, he had the umbrella thing and all that.
right? Okay. So he was trying to get his lighting, not the sun lighting.
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah, because I saw some another of the times at the festival place. I saw someone another like a male a bloke getting photographed. I think it must have been for some sort of clothing catalogue or something,
All right.
and that was down the north end where the seawater pool is. So that's what you call it, can't it? Yeah. The ocean pool is just near the steps there and near that surf club.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was on the rocks too there, like that one spot. So it must be popular. I was thinking it must be for an LD catalogue or something, or walk
Yeah.
picked up in there.
Or it could be
um,
a school assignment or anything.
oh
Yeah.
no, two older guys that were photographing him, and the guy was obviously some sort of modelling agency dude.
Mm.
And they, I'm thinking that it was close, that he wasn't sort of dressed in beach gear. So they thought it was a nice location to take those photos, but it
Yeah.
was obviously a pro photo shoot.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I said to the guy that like if it was wedding shots or that, that probably cost a lot of money to have all that attention.
Oh, that's good. So they did it. They must have taken a lot of photos in looking at that.
Well, it's amazing how many photos that they take just to get one good one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I also said, Oh, just take the one that's gonna get the wind come to me.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's interesting that your sister really fussed over it and said, "Oh, you got to do this and you got to do that," that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
because I look like a bag lady sometimes. So, she was just trying to save me.
She was trying to she was trying to protect your honour there.
Yeah, and her honour too, because we're related. So, and I put a bracelet on. She said, moisturize your legs and all that. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
Moisturiser it. Yeah.
Lip gloss.
It's funny it's because when I used to work as a film extra, you see all that stuff happening. How they sometimes have to do a shitload of work on someone to get a certain look. They might spend out like an hour, hour and a half. I remember um, one commercial TV shit was for a commercial, and they wanted a nightclub scene, and there's one extra they pulled out this lady, and they did all this stuff to her hair. This hairdresser guy was really freaking going crazy on her hair. Like it took them about at least an hour and a half to get this one hairstyle.
Yeah.
He was teasing it and doing all this back combing and all this. And I thought, wow, and that unless she's a featured extra, like that she might only get seen briefly in that commercial, like, and but sometimes they really go to town
And
for the
sometimes
big
you're
thing.
not seen at all.
And sometimes not seen at all. That's right. It may be cut right
And
out.
and that's what Misha said too. Like that might not even go into the paper.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I met this other woman once. Oh, that's right. She did. She was a Latin American dancer,
Yeah.
and that was for a Tom Cruise movie. I forget which one it was, and there's some sort of Spanish dancing scene in it. And this woman was really pissed off because she did all this dancing routine, and they filmed it all for her, but then they didn't put it in the film.
But she would have got paid for it.
I think she got paid for it,
Of
but
course, she got
she was
paid for it.
really pissed off that it didn't go in the movie. That's it.
Yeah, because Abijah did a lot of extra work when he was younger. He always got paid for it.
Mm. Yeah. Now, also some jobs, occasionally some jobs fall through where you do the job and you don't get paid. It doesn't happen often, but occasionally it can
Oh,
happen. If the film company goes broke or something like that,
all right.
then you don't get paid. That
Yeah.
only happens to be once.
Oh.
But yeah, most of the time they're pretty good.
Well, I don't
Uh,
know, because I don't know if you were in because Abijah's in the front of the film Candy with and,
okay.
and then
Um,
cut it with Heath Ledger and the other guy, and they're on the rotor with the
um,
girl.
I don't know the movie, but I'll write it down. I'll see if
Oh,
I can
it's
find
called
it.
Candy, and it's got David Helfgott and if that's his
Oh
name,
yeah.
and it's got
Yeah.
Heath Ledger, and it's got another girl called Abby something, blonde
Abby.
hair
Yeah.
girl,
Heath Ledger. Abby. Is it Abby Winters? Is that
Abby
her name?
Cornish,
Abby Cornish.
I
That's
think.
right. What year did that come out?
Oh, I don't know. Well, it's probably was about. Uh, I really couldn't tell you. Maybe it was
Okay. No.
16 years ago.
I vaguely remember some publicity about that. So,
Yeah,
the
maybe
bike.
2004. They were
Yeah.
heroin addicts.
Okay. Right. Doing it. Okay.
Well, she wasn't at first, but she got introduced to it, and then she got really bad, and they had a baby. I can't remember the full movie, but I think she died in the end.
Right. So Biker was in that. Like he was part of it, is that right?
Yeah,
Cool. Oh, that's nice.
and you
Yeah.
can see Abijah because he's got frizzy hair, like a lot of hair. He had heaps of hair, and,
Right.
and they're on
Right.
the road. So there's only like about, I don't know, 6 to 10 people at the most. And
Yeah.
Abby Cornish and that's on the road with him.
Right.
And he met Heath Ledger and he met David Helfgott and
Cool.
Help, whatever his
Yeah.
name is.
I'm gonna YouTube the usually there's a trailer that they do for every movie. So
Yeah, I mean, I filmed it on YouTube once, like because it was on late. You weren't there then. It was on late in the morning in Cairns, and they
oh yeah,
showed it a couple of times. Like on SBS or something. So or ABC, I can't remember. And I just filmed the beginning of it. It goes for quite a while.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's the road are going round and round, and you see them hopping into the room at Luna Park,
Oh
and
yeah,
then they
okay.
get on the rotor and they went on the rotor lots of times. It goes round and round. They start falling off.
Oh, you like a Ferris wheel or
No, the rotor. It's a thing like where it's a bit of
the block?
rubber. It's a round rubber room,
Oh
and it
yeah,
goes
yeah.
round and round, and then the floor comes away, and you're still up on the top. So you're held together by the force of velocity of it going round and round. You're sort of stuck to the wall.
Centrifugal force. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
and and then you start falling off.
Okay. Wow, that would have been fun to be to be an extra force. Yeah.
Yeah, Bodger
Wow.
was in a lot of things. He was in
Really?
like Home and Aways or whatever, like in the school
Yeah,
scene.
I've been in one of those too. Someone actually saw me on one of those. Where I mean, once again, you're not supposing parts, so you don't get paid extra doing that. But they just a little scene where they want you to be an action, do a certain action in it.
Yeah,
My funny one was where I had to push past these two parents that were at home away.
yeah.
And so, and one guy that used to go to some of those kids, says, "Oh, hey, buddy, get off me TV, will you?"
Ah,
And I said, "I'd do that, mate." um, but yeah, so yeah, it's a funny job doing comics too. Um, but the most amount of money I got paid for anything in that, I got a featured extra. That was 1,500.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but because they both on one part of the commercial. If you want to come up and play it like that. um, so like they kind of so therefore the agency was able to get more money for me. So that was cool.
And do
Um,
you remember what it was?
yeah, I got photographs from the photo shoot. I took some photos while I was down there. It's called FM Milk. But FM Milk, I don't know whatever happened to it. They made this big commercial for it. But I don't remember it ever being much in the spirit of the product.
It was probably Melbourne milk or something.
Maybe, yeah, it was maybe for so. Um, but I don't remember seeing it in the shop. So
Yeah.
that was a big chip like running on that commercial. It's 2 days worth of
But
shooting.
did you see the commercial?
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty. It's quite interesting.
They played it on TV and that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's the movie. So,
All right. Okay. Oh, well, that's a
um,
big deal.
yeah, I've got the yeah, I've got the. I can show you that sometime. I've got the photos of that actual film shoot. It was down by um, those with people play chess. We sort of around in there
Yeah.
near the pavilion. Yeah, but yeah, that was sort of the highlight of my career as a filmmaker for sure. The only other way you can top any of those is to which you can get what's called a 100% ad, where you talk for the whole ad.
Yeah.
So that sounds like this is a funny example. Um, confidence, confidence. What do they call them? Pads for old people.
Oh,
Confidence,
yeah. Yeah.
confidence pads. Okay. Well, that's to get an actor that sort of, well, yeah, it's got to be an actor, but sometimes people that aren't actors can,
Yeah.
okay, um, there's an old idea. Uh, confidence
Yeah, yeah. Well, Abijah's sister, she gets ads all the time. She's in the latest McDonald's one.
Oh, yeah. Um, oh, okay, yeah.
She's
But like,
she's getting in. They're in a car and they get some McDonald's and they're sitting at the back of the car near a beach eating a burger.
is that, wasn't she in another ad too that she sort of in school for like like
Yeah,
a
she got a lot of money for that one apparently. Yeah, because she
uh,
was the main one and she was the only one really in that ad.
yeah. So if you're listening in that, yes, you can get paid quite a lot. Something like I think for 100%, it can be as much as something like 50, 60 grand. Where if you talk almost through that ad,
Yeah.
it's that much. She might not have got quite that much, but she might be something approaching that anyway.
Well, who knows? It might have gone up. It could have gone down.
So that's is it.
Yeah, well, it's to another mother,
Ah, okay,
but the
right.
same father. So they're brother and sister. They're about a year apart.
So is she picking with your niece or no?
Well, look, I don't know what you would say. My Julie's friends with her mother, and even the girl stayed here as well. She used to stay in
Ah,
my room,
right.
and then I used to stay with mum and dad when she was here.
Okay,
So
right.
Julie goes to, like they keep in contact. I mean, she rang Julie the other day to say she saw Abijah in town. She said, I don't know if you, no, I mean, she must have rang for Christmas or New Year. She rang and said, oh, I was in town somewhere and Abijah was driving past. I mean, because they know each other. They're brother and sister.
Yes, yeah, they're half, well, they're half siblings. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But they look
Um,
alike.
yeah, yeah. Uh, common genes.
Yeah, well, that's a dad. Dad's more dominant, I think.
Yes,
The
the
colouring and
Caribbean,
the hair, yeah.
The Jamaican genes that
Yeah, that is not Jamaican.
isn't it?
No, he's from Grenada.
Oh, you Grenada. Oh, yes.
Grenada, a little island
Yes,
in the
yes.
Caribbean. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few West Indies people that live in Sydney, and some of them do quite good in media, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get the net that got Pat Powell.
I'm not sure.
Pat Powell, his name is. Okay, he's done a few media things, that's right. He's like, yeah, it's like a lot of people think that he's an American, Afro-American.
Yeah. And what's the name? Aisha. She was in the Shakespeare Theatre Company. I think she still might be.
I
She went to some Western Australia performing arts school. She did really well anyway.
that's her name, Aisha, is it?
Yeah.
All right, God, that's cool.
I mean, you
Um,
can probably look her up. She's probably got her own profile. I think her mum's last name is Ash.
Asher.
Aisha Ash.
Okay. Yeah, Pat Powell, he does theatre stuff, and he also plays a jazz singer as well. He's on Facebook. So yeah, he came up here
I'll have a
about a
look.
year ago. And he did a gig up here as a jazz from sort of blues jazz stuff. Yeah. But some people at that gig asked him whether he was an American. He said, "Oh no, man, he didn't think so." Actually, he hasn't got much of an accent because he sort of was more of a slight. You think that he's got an Australian accent too, but he's a black man.
Yeah.
So,
And and it do you remember because I wrote it down because I haven't because I'm on the computer now. But do you remember Philby's that pseudonym that you said?
yeah, yeah. So
Jethro something or something?
okay, it's the first name Chet,
Oh, Chet and
and then his name is Romero,
Ramiro.
R-O-M.
And I think that was his last what I've seen him on Facebook that what he might have been called.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it didn't show him, it showed a picture of something, of an animal.
Yeah, he's got. I just had that CD, and I'm going to look at it, but it's in my collection somewhere. Um, he's got a CD of 4 or 5 songs of that name, Sugar Romero. Yeah,
And I saw Sia was in a Spicks and Specks Christmas show, but I don't know if it was this year or last year. But it was. I saw it just.
he never mentions her at all.
Oh no, he did to me because when he came to Cairns, like he was upstairs and just a different place, and they she was on Home and Away. Oh, not Home and Away. She was on the Neighbours. She actually
Oh,
sang she sang the theme song at a wedding. So he told me about that, and
oh, yeah,
she went out with one of the guys from Hot House Flowers or something. She was friends with the drummer,
oh,
and
yeah,
that was happening at that time. So she was working hard at a craft for many years because that's over 20 years ago.
yes, yes. So she doesn't take his name too, by the way. She takes
No,
her
no.
mother.
Well, there's another. You know,
But
oh,
her mother's name is Federer. Um, yeah.
yeah. So maybe that's what. Okay, so the other thing was that I was watching Play School because Misha
Oh,
was little, and then in comes Sia talking and singing a song on Play School. So I called him up from the room because I didn't know who she really was till he told me.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but for you to do that, or not call from downstairs, you must have known that it was his daughter, right?
Oh, I did by then, yeah, because she'd already been on Neighbours. He told me she's on Neighbours, so we saw that.
But she's on American TV too.
Is she?
And, I think she actually made an appearance on,
The awards or something.
yeah, but not only that, David Letterman show.
Oh yeah, I might have seen it. I nearly had a brother or sister to her. Yeah, yeah, but like you said, she's got another brother as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, there is another brother. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the one I know about because that's what I thought he was most
Yeah, well,
famous.
that's the only ones that I know. He had Sia and he had the boy.
Yeah, yeah. But the boy was the one that he brought it. The cops were after him. Yeah. He faked the suicide.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why though. I'm not exactly sure what the reason for that was, but they found him later back in Adelaide somewhere. But
publicity or something. But I mean, what? Yeah, I don't know.
um, but yeah. So
So
it's
he's a
probably
performer as well.
yeah. Yeah, they're all performers, but she's the most famous out of any of those. Like Paul probably feels a bit overshadowed, isn't he? Because I think he's quite a talented guy. But I just think he's got a bit of a diseased ego, or something.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
she probably got. I mean, I saw videos of the him and the her mother when they were in a band or something.
mm,
Yeah. So her mum had sort of hair like Sia, but it was dark when I saw the stuff.
right. Would that be on the internet or not?
Well, I don't know because I don't even know what they're called, but it's when they were in Adelaide and when they were younger. So they probably was in their 20s. I don't know if you know the names of the bands he was in Adelaide.
Um, no, I don't actually know. Um, I was living in Adelaide really a long time ago.
Yeah,
I
well,
haven't.
same as him. And also that the last name, but do you know the first name of her? I don't know. I don't know the mother's name.
It's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, you
Um,
can look up Sia and it'll probably say her mother's name.
I'll say your mum's name. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'll try it after I get off the phone. I'll try
yeah,
and see if I can get check Facebook. You can find it.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he's on. He was my Facebook friend, but I don't think he is anymore. So I I don't know if I cancelled it or he cancelled himself off. but he was called something else. So I think it
Yeah.
could have been that. He changed it a bit too. He changes his profile.
Really. He's a man. He's a bit of a chameleon.
Yep.
Chameleon dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think he's trying to promote himself in some way or other. And that's why you want to get different identities
Yeah.
to he's trying to what's the word? He's trying to
Reinvent
make
himself, and that's the same as what Sia did.
um yeah, there's a word for revamping himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, at some point, sweetie, I'll have to head up the road. I've got to try and get to the council.
Yeah.
Council
No, it's
meeting.
already after 2, so just you better do it.
I might have to go soon. Yeah,
Yeah, and I've got to
yeah.
sort some stuff out too. So it's all good.
But we can talk again later tonight anyway.
Yeah, it's
Um,
all good.
I'm sorry I didn't get back to you last night,
Oh,
but
look, I don't know. Like, also, it doesn't matter, Ian. You just got to do what you have to do. That's all.
it's only because I
Sometimes you ring more, sometimes I ring more. We're not
yeah,
always
that's
on the
great.
same page.
Yeah. But anyway, hopefully we can talk to each other when we're looking at each other pretty shortly.
Yeah,
If you don't go on
to
Saturday.
Wollongong or whatever. Yeah.
But other than that, though, if you do, I mean, that's a good thing. But hopefully, I can get on my loan on Sunday. You know,
Oh,
that's
look,
good.
you're allowed to come any time. It's just that you just got to, contribute to Julie a bit. That's all.
Yes, I don't mind. No,
And
I
and,
do.
and like, and then it'll make it smoother for another time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand completely, and I regret that I didn't think to do that before.
It's
But
all
anyway,
good. But,
yeah. Well, sweet, I'll start getting with you now because
okay.
I still don't even know whether this is really going to work with that QR.
Oh well, if
Yeah,
if you haven't got it yet, I mean, you're going to the council to try and for them to help you.
yes, because that's the reason I could do, because they would know how to download it properly.
Oh
Um,
yeah, but if you don't have the memory on your phone, it's not going to download anyways. But good luck,
okay.
good luck, because I can't get it on mine. I've tried.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I may be able to get it online. You're right. It may work. It may not work. So
yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Yeah. All right, sweetie. Well, look, we'll have a chat later on.
yeah.
Tonight probably, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
No worries.
Yeah. But it's not. I mean, oh well. I mean, I'll probably talk to you before you go to Wollongong. But if not, I hope that you get
Oh,
back.
I'll ring you by tomorrow and let you know what we're doing.
Cool. Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway, we might be able to get a chat in tonight as well. In the meantime, I'll try and find checks for you too on Facebook.
yeah. It's given me. Look, I'm going to look at the restrictions and all that sort of stuff. You
Cool.
know, and yeah,
Right, the Queensland restrictions,
yeah.
but they may relent and they may change the
Yeah,
criteria.
because I mean the thing is I can apply for a border pass and I'm a bit, yeah, like I'm scared if I start applying for a border pass and things clear up and then they'll go, oh, you've put all this information in, you can't change it now. But I'm gonna have to address it anyway. So
If they change the border restrictions, it's okay. They wipe off. You won't need the border pass.
well that's right, but I doubt it
Yeah,
somehow.
it's all to do with their dates. Right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you can apply for it before they change it. They should be giving you okay pass to go. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know, but we'll check it out.
yeah, yeah. Cool. All right, Freddie. We'll talk again shortly. And
Okay,
have a good day.
okay,
And
you too.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Things I've got to always keep saying to myself, things always work out for me.
I'm going to be checking out that Robert Clements and see if he has. I'm going to check him on Facebook, see if he's on Facebook.
Yeah, he might be on Facebook,
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, he used to be a postmaster
Oh,
in the post office, apparently.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, I mean, it is sad because Lotto don't give a shit. Honestly, it's a company that I thought would be, oh, it's fun. People win, we give them the money, but no, they're assholes when it comes to trying to prove your ticket. They twist the truth, they withhold the truth, they don't investigate.
No,
You
no,
know,
no, that's,
because the lady said to me in the interview, "Do you still would you still buy a ticket without being registered?" And I said, "Yeah, I still do sometimes."
yeah.
But like a lot of people get really pissed off at them when
Yeah,
that happens to them.
but I guess if there's a chance of winning money, people will try and take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still do. So
Yeah, and you still might win again. Sometimes you might.
yeah, but like the odds are not in the favor of it because I've already won.
Yeah,
So,
but
and it doesn't happen to everyone in life.
no, no. But there have been people who've won lottery twice.
Oh yeah, that's right. And the
Like,
same as lightning strikes more than once too. Yeah,
there's a guy in the States, saw in the documentary that had won twice,
yeah.
and so he bought all his houses and stuff, you know.
Well, some people they actually spend thousands of dollars on buying tickets, which gives them guaranteed numbers, so they've got more chance of winning as well. Some people do that,
Yeah, yeah.
because anyway, I won't go into it. But when you look into when you buy tickets, you can be guaranteed one winning number, two winning numbers. But it costs you about $1,000 to have two guaranteed one numbers out of six.
Mm,
You can pay that, but I mean, who's got the money to pay that? But some people do that, especially if
yeah,
they're using other people's money.
yeah, yeah.
No, 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 because that happened to an auntie of mine. She had this maintenance man, and I went downstairs where he would leave his stuff, and she never bought tickets, but he was using her money. He done a number on her, and there were tickets piled up to the size of my body,
What did he?
piles of tickets, and he won some money on Powerball. He didn't give it to her, of course.
What did he steal her money to buy the tickets?
Oh look, she had 7 properties. She ended up with nothing.
Um, how, the maintenance guy have
Uh,
they
because when her husband died, apparently he was a guy that used to prey on people like widowers,
right? Yeah,
and we were told that by someone else, and he hit on my auntie, and he's about 15 years younger, and
right.
yeah, like he got her to sell a farm that was out west, and
Oh,
he got her to buy.
I knew that.
Yeah, and he probably even. Oh look, and his sons had a company called SOS Cranes. They were scouting about buying cranes. So his
That's
sons
right.
his sons never had any money. He was never at my auntie's place. He was always out helping his sons build their business. But slowly my auntie's properties went down. She said to my mum, she wants to get away from him, but he owes her so much money. And in the end, she only had one house left, but this is after a period of about 15 years. And
Wow.
and he my dad was a power of attorney. He forged all the paperwork. He became power of attorney. He was taking the money out of the bank before she
Oh,
passed it on. He got dobbed into Centrelink anyway. but
yeah.
but
That
still,
might have gone on. That might have gone on TV actually. I don't know.
oh yeah, because it was around Liverpool, and all his family was involved. They're all scammers.
Wow. The dirty
Anyway, I got to be careful because I've just mentioned the company, and there's some bad people involved with that. Anyway?
yeah,
But anyway, it is what it is. It's done. But
yeah.
he ripped her off, and like he threatened my life to go to the funeral. I didn't go to a funeral.
God,
Big look, like he was just an asshole. You get people like that,
yeah, very manipulative. Yeah,
yeah. And basically, she's on her own. She lived far away. My mum always said to her, "Why don't you come over here?" She wanted some semblance of independence, and she'd have the house. She lived in her own private home, but there was a houso lady across the road that was on with this guy. And while we were there, she'd come over and want to borrow money. She knew where my auntie kept her money.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then they tried to say my auntie had dementia or something. He tried to put her away without telling us. We found out. One time we went to me and Dad went to a mental ward at Fairfield, I think it was,
Oh yeah.
and we went in there. Oh look, all these things, you know. One time we found out she's in hospital. My dad and my sister went there. He said, "I've just bought and sold a house." He didn't even have his own house, but he had power of
Ah,
attorney, and he's tried to put my auntie away. And I said, I went to the toilet, and as a male nurse was walking away, and I said,
yeah.
"There's nothing wrong with her mentally." He goes, "I know that." He said, "I'm just realizing that. It's just that this bloke, he reckoned he was a partner. He wasn't, and he came in all groomed, and there was really serious mental people in there, you know, like talking in different languages and pacing up and down. And he's saying, "Auntie Margot." He didn't even call her right just by a name. He called her Auntie because she was older. "Auntie Margot, what are you doing in here with all these people?" But the day before, she was in um, Liverpool Hospital when he's
Yeah.
saying to my dad and my sister that he's bought and sold a house and bought a car. His new car was sitting in the hospital grounds,
Yeah.
and he's come in and said to my auntie, "What is she doing in there?" But he's the one that told the medical staff there was a problem with her, and he's the same one that sent her off in an ambulance, and she never made it home. She died. And when I got to the hospital and found out, the sister said to me, "What are you doing?" "No, nice to see someone because he's had no people." And I said, "What? Didn't a man come with her?" When he came into the hospital when I was there, he said, "Oh, Auntie Margot, I love you so much. That's why I married you." But he went softly on the word married. The nurse's station was outside the door. I said, his name was Chris. I said, "Chris, you never married her. You don't love her. You never married her."
Maddie.
He goes, "Yes, I." They had to call security, but they made him go. I said, "I'm not going. I've come from a long way to visit my auntie." And but he's the same guy. I said, "If you love us so much," and he was laughing. He's saying, "Auntie Margot, you're going to die soon." He's at the end of a bed saying this shit. He's terrible. And he said he didn't go to. He followed the ambulance to the hospital. I said, "Well, why didn't you come in with her? If you love someone, you don't get them taken by ambulance and you say you followed her." He said, "I had to go back to her house to have lunch with another lady in her house, which was a lady across the road." He's a fucking asshole. Anyway, I just wish.
What did he look like, Candy?
Oh, he's not bad. He was okay looking, but he's really just a guy. Like, one time I went to Campbelltown, RSL. My auntie wasn't playing. She used to sometimes play machines. I used to take her out sometimes at Christmas and that. And
Yeah.
I'd give
Yeah.
her money. She'd give me money, right? He came. He kept asking her for money, and he would not play one machine. He played twos at $5 and $10 a press. What does that
Yeah.
say to you? He was a pensioner. You don't get
Oh,
that kind of money to play if you're not using other people's money. He wasn't winning.
exactly. Yeah. What is that? Was he an old guy or a young guy or middle aged or?
Well, when she passed away, she was probably 82,
Yeah.
and he was 15 years younger. So he was 70, 68.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but was he an Australian guy? Was he
No, he
Italian?
was Macedonian.
Okay, so he's sort of part Greek. Yeah.
His last name's Boskoski. He's a horrible guy.
What?
Absolutely horrible.
Ah.
But she probably thought, "Oh, he's nice looking." but he was never there for her. You know, she'd ring us up at Christmas time because we didn't always go there on Christmas Day. It was usually Boxing Day. She'd say, "I'm all by myself," and then with the when he won the Powerball with her money, he was showing us on his new video and TV. Um, see, you know, him at Christmas time. He went to his family's place, the one that bought all the cranes. They've got an indoor swimming pool, and he's having fun with his family. And you know, if my auntie was a member of his brood, he was still married, by the way. He would have taken her to the family, right? My auntie was on her own, and actually, this day, me and Misha gone to see her. I think it was Boxing Day, and she said, "Oh, you know, if I go, there'll be a lot of things for you to clean up." He wouldn't even let us into the house. We called the police. He took over a house, and he wouldn't even let the family into the house, and he threatened my life. So anyway, Mum and me didn't go to the funeral because Mum was unwell too. But apparently, he kept saying at the funeral, "Oh, to my loving one, my wife, my wife, my wife," and he said it like about 100 times. I heard, and I'd rang the funeral director and I said, "You know, this guy's sus," and he goes, "Unfortunately, I realised it, but it was a bit late." Because he, you know, when he went to the funeral director, he got money from the public trustee. He'd arranged all of this, but my dad already owned a funeral plot. He got all this money when he shouldn't have got it. On every account, like he threatened me. He had his sons holding the coffin. You know, my brother was her godson. She never had any kids. She looked after my father. So, you know, technically we could have claimed, even though he left it, he made a will and left us out of the will, and we provided the proper will, but he said that we'd lied about the will. We just let it go. It was a horrible, horrible thing. And she's one of the lotto numbers that I chose. And one of the reasons I chose 26 and I went to number three because she died 3 years before I bought the ticket.
Right. Ah, gee, well,
So,
I think maybe you better pick some different numbers on the one next.
oh no, look, I don't always use that. It was that particular day. You know, like, the, oh no, you got to go. You got to go.
You can just continue the story later.
Oh no, look, you've heard the story. I'm just saying it because I'm sort of recording it. But anyway, yeah, the 26th. So she's passed away, and yeah, on the 22nd, which was Mum and Dad's anniversary, both my parents were in hospital at North Shore. I got them both out, and we went to visit her on the 26th, on the 22nd in hospital. That was 4 days before she passed away. She was unconscious from the time she got sent to the hospital. So he Mickey Finder, you know, he did something, and he told us he had stuff at home. He told, I forget what the stuff he said, and the funeral director said to me, I said, he's and he said, I know he's sus. He said she may be buried, but it doesn't mean they can't get a body out of the ground. Exactly what the funeral. His name was Ray Castles, the funeral director.
Okay.
He'd been a funeral director for many years, and he was onto his susness as well.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah. All right, mate. Look, have a good afternoon. I'll call you back tonight.
yeah, I know. Go. See ya. See ya.
All right. Talk to
Yeah.
you soon.
Bye.